Okay, For the Love Studio is back here, and now we are talking about one of the things that I guess just been on my mind lately since I've been working a lot on my project. I've been working a lot towards developing the project. One of the things that I found out is that it's too easy to say that I don't have a vision instead of working on the vision, right? One of the things that, I've been struggling a lot is that lately I've been trying to convince myself that my vision is not strong enough, right? I've been trying to say myself simply like, all right, where my company is heading now is not the way I see it. I don't think it's gonna work out. And a lot of like this, unconscious self-doubts that I have into my mind. And one of the things that I found out is that probably the reason of me having this self-doubts and having this not understanding of like where I'm actually heading into is that the idea of that I'm trying to be having so much control on the things that I can control, right? So let me give you an example. One of the things that I've been doing consistently now is posting on the Instagram channel, right? I've been posting content, I've been trying to repost it, I've been trying to make it viral for the sake of For the Love Studio, for the sake of the things that I'm doing. And so many times I found myself of like not reaching enough views, right? Or not reaching enough audience. And I'd be like, maybe it's not my turn, maybe it's not my time, maybe it's not like the vision that I'm trying to do. But basically the thing is that the real understanding comes from the understanding of that this is just a part of the game, like I know for a fact that if I would continue to dream myself and I'll continue to try to sell out myself of this, I'll be constantly thinking like, I didn't make it, or like I'm not good enough yet, or like, I still have to develop the things. But one of the true reality and one of the true games that you can have is that just to understand that, it's not about being in the game even that much. It's more about knowing that like whatever it takes is going to take it from me, but I'm still going to stay on my path, I'm still going to step and like do whatever I have to do, because otherwise it's just, the roads that we're in is that it always goes like that, everything in life go for phases. No matter what you do, right? You do content, you do blog, you do things that you're passionate about. You always gotta be really careful about the understanding of the idea that no matter what you do, there's always gonna be obstacles, gonna be tribulations and trials, right? So be aware of that. It's not gonna be one day, it's not gonna be the second day, it's not gonna be third day when things gonna get you results. It's gonna be the day, I would say, like when you realize that all you can do is just control your inputs, right? And that's going to be the title of this video. Control your inputs, don't focus on outputs. One thing that I was finding myself so much into is that I've been always to try control so much outputs. But like I told you before, you can't control really outputs nowadays. Nowadays, like if you take social media, right? No matter how good the video is, no matter how much money I pay for people to do this, or no matter what like it took me to do this, it's still gonna be not up to me. It's still gonna be up to you mostly, guys. It's still mostly be up to you, because it's you who decide like, or I'm just gonna scroll this, or I'm gonna like copy paste, or I'm just gonna send it to my friend. Yes, part of me is controlling the input. Part of me is controlling the input of like knowing that this is the thumbnail I have to do, this is the title that I have to do, this is the like hashtag that I have to use, this is the idea that I'm trying to propose. But like beyond of me just being in the project, the most important part for me is always to see the output, right? But one thing I would say is that you can't control the output. Always control the input. Always control what you do today. Like what do you do today with your content, right? What do you do today with your website? What do you do today with your, clients, let's say? Because you really can't control how much engagement will you get. Like even if the video is smooth, even if you know the hooks, even if you know the like all the small details that you have to use, even if you know them, it's still hard to say if it's going to work out or not. All you can do is just to understand that, listen, this is the input that I put in. If God's grace, it works out, it works out. I did whatever I could. I took all the advantages, all of my knowledges that I had, I put them into it, and it worked out. If not, at least I tried, at least I moved forward. I made myself to move forward with this. I didn't just sit down and say like, it just didn't work out. I didn't let myself sit down and like doubt myself over this. I did what I could and I made it. So that's the best way and the best approach you can have. It's just to know that, no matter what it takes, you always have to be just performing, you always have to be performing and controlling the inputs. Like I tell you, don't control the thing that you can control. Don't control the outputs. It's not up to you. It's up to algorithms. It's up to so many other things. Yeah, but it's up to you. Don't get me wrong though. It's up to you to make sure that you like do the good video quality, you do the value proposition enough, you understand enough the concept of how market works, you understand the concept of how like social media works, algorithms. Yeah, some part of this is up to you. Like I'm not trying to get you out of the game at all. I'm just saying that you just have to have clear vision of understanding that you only control inputs based on the knowledge that you have. So don't get me wrong though, don't be like this, half I would say like way approach of like, oh, I'm just gonna post this is the all input I put in, whatever it is. That's not the game. The game is that you just do whatever you can based on the knowledge that you know, based on the things that you know, and let the output speak itself. Because if you put enough work, if you put enough of efforts, if you put enough of energy, trust me, it's gonna be hard for you to persuade yourself and get yourself out of the game lately when the videos is gonna be like getting like 100 views or 200. At least you'll be proud of yourself. But don't get me wrong though, don't take it as a easy road. Don't take it as an easy road. Take it as a granted and must-have road of like knowing that you can control inputs, but you can control the outputs in many ways, right? That's the best approach, like, that I learned from myself, is that I just learned that, all I can do is just control my inputs. Let my outputs speak for themselves, If I did good job, then God's grace, I get good enough results. If not, and, I got lucky and the things got, in the right way, I got lucky. Like, I got lucky and things worked out. But now, just the best thing approach that I have for myself, even if my videos is not doing good enough, even if the things aren't serving me well, like taking, like my entrepreneurial journey with For the Love Studio or taking other approaches, it's like I'm just constantly putting myself into game back. Like I'm always saying myself like, I just do based what I know from my inputs, from my knowledge, from my background that I'm from. Some of you don't know, I'm originally from Russia. I moved to Canada when I was 18, just graduated there from one of the educational institution, I guess, I would say, and moved just here to Spain, right? Now I'm here trying to build up the For the Love Studio. And initially I'm documenting that because I know in a couple of years I'll see that, I'll be proud of myself. But like, yes, the best way approach and the best thing you can do for yourself is just to know that, no matter what, I'm just going to put myself, and I'm going to put my step on the gas. If it works out, I'm proud. I control my inputs and I get good enough outputs to speak for themselves. If not, I guess it's not for me, right? That's the best way approach you actually can have. Because you can't control the outputs. Don't get me wrong though. You can control so many things on the input side, but you really can't control the outputs. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. Things might sometimes not work out the way you see it, but at least you're keeping yourself on the pedestal. At least you're keeping yourself on the work, right? You don't give up. You just go forward with the things. That's the best way approach you can have. Beyond of that, I just want to share some news. Like, we're still developing For the Love Studio. It's been a while now since we've been working. I went through the incubators of my school project. I went through a lot of things lately with this project. But we're still developing. We're still keeping ourselves accountable for that. And that's the part of the game, because one of the part of the journey that I realized is that I put myself so much on the, this idea of that, like inputs. So I tried to take a lot of things by numbers, right? If you say, networking things, like networking part of the things or like other part of the things, I try to take it over by just going into events, right? By just being into events, by just talking with other like founders, etc. And that's what really takes, right? It takes the dedication and understanding that all you can do is just control your inputs. Nothing else you really can control. Like outputs, Yeah, you might control the outputs results, but don't get me wrong though, you only control them by controlling the inputs in the first place, right? We can't control anything else, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I think you should find yourself valuable. It should give you some, brief of motivation to go forward and keep developing your project, keep developing your entrepreneurial journey that you're trying to achieve. As always, this is For the Love Studio. We are here, we are speaking. We are trying to what they call empower. That's also like another story that I'll talk about later on. But yeah, follow me back if you want to see more videos like that, and let's stay tuned. Peace.